Greetings everyone, this is Force Nature of Top Tier Tips, and I welcome you to your prime spot for tips and tricks to help you level up at Dead or Alive 6. Alright folks, we've gone through a little more than 2/3 of the Dead or Alive 6 roster now for the character quick tips guide, so just a few more to go. But before I go on, I just want to say that this video is endorsed by Smart Esports and Trollcoin. Anyways, let's get to it. Nyotengu. Nyotengu is an intermediate level character that is okay for beginner players or people that are learning Dead or Alive 6. I mean, she's not particularly difficult to use, although some of her like Hayate no Mai transitions might require you to get a bit of a feel for the timing. But the main thing about Nyotengu is that she's one of the slowest characters in the game, along with Bass. So you're gonna have to get pretty used to having very few options when on defense. Like I just said, Nyotengu is pretty slow, like one of the slowest characters in the game. Like check it out, her jab is 14 frames. Her fastest mid is 15 frames, and her fastest low is 15 frames. That's pretty damn slow. So speed is not Nyotengu's friend. However, Nyotengu does have her best friend right here. This is P+K. This is a 10 frame high, gives a plus 34 lift stun. I mean, look how juicy that is. Amazing lift stun. So this move also does 20 damage. So that means it will beat out other 10 frame jabs, such as Ione's for instance, and just mainly because of damage priority. So this move is like really good. So when you smack the opponent with this, you can easily set up like a launcher and even go for like a small juggle, something as simple as just the air throw, and right there, just 64 damage from that setup right there. So this move is really good. As you can probably guess, this is what the opponent's going to be looking out for, and because it's a high, the opponent can easily high crush it, something like that. So to help you out, you have 6P. Alright, it's a 15 frame, it's a 15 frame elbow or 15 frame 6P, but it does have numerous follow-ups. You can do it up to 3 times. But as you see right here, it's very delayable. But to make things even better, as you see right here, this move is -7 on block if you just do 6 PP. So -7 on block means that you can't be guaranteed throw punishment. The opponent can only try and do like a neutral throw, for instance, and those of course are breakable by pressing the throw button. If you do all 3, you leave yourself at -5 and you're fully safe from block. You can do like a little fuzzy guard or anything like that, or even like maybe possibly try an abare. But at -5, the opponent cannot guarantee punish you for that. And without delayable, the opponents, it's very risky for them to try and throw after that. You can do it as fast as you can. So 6 PP is really good. As a go-to low, it's naturally going to be your 2P. So right here, it's 15 frames and it leaves you at -6. That just looks bad on paper. The reason why it's -6 is it has a very delayable follow-up. So anytime you need to, well, you need a go-to kind of high crush and low, you use this. You can also use 2H+K also. And it can have like a kind of either launcher slash stun follow-up on like a normal hit. I know it'd be a launcher and counter hit. So like this move is okay, but if you want just a go-to 2 PP is really nice. For another low, you also have 2KK. And right there, it leaves you at +14. But since it's a 2K, it doesn't crush under highs or anything that. Where I know 2PP is a safer option, where 2KK is more so if you're kind of certain it's going to hit and you want to like try to trip up the opponent with a low. Nyotengu's mid-kick speed, things get even worse. For instance, your go-to mid-kick poke 3K is 17 frames. Like that's pretty damn slow. Like it gives you a little stun if you just do a single one, even though under most circumstances you can just simply do both hits. Like there's 3KK right here. It puts Nyotengu into your Hayate no Mai flying stance or float back stance. So I know there's like numerous follow-ups in that, like the down kick 2K for instance. So whether this move hits or is blocked, like if you're blocked, you're at +3 and it ends up creating space. And I'll say right now that creating space with Nyotengu is really good. It's a good objective with her, so you can... There's the K option right there, you fly back. And again, the down kick. So I mean there's numerous things you can end up like doing out of that stance. But creating space is a good go-to. But other than like 3K, which is 17 frames, an actual go-to kind of mid-kick option with Nyotengu is, especially if you're going to like interrupt something, like the opponent's attacking from disadvantage, you can smack him with 7K. See, this right here is actually a pretty dirty move. See, it knocks the opponent back and you can fall with the P option there, get good damage if you smack the opponent into the environment. As you see, it's a 16 frame mid-kick, but, alright, if it gets blocked, on paper you're minus 21, but look how much space this bad boy creates. See, so this is not an easy move for the opponent to punish. They would have to strike, punish it, and even then they need to respect that you can do the P follow-up on here. If the opponent blocks the P follow-up, then yeah, you're pretty screwed and you can be punished for that, but under most circumstances, you could just do this. You could do this move and get pretty good mileage out of it. To complement this move 7K, you also have 7P. This move right here is just a jump back move, which is good for creating space. And with Nyotengu, she likes to create space. And if you want to be like really dirty, then you can smack the opponent with 4 people's KP, but that move can be a little gimmicky, but that's a move that's just there for the sole purpose of just existing. And of course you can cancel it with the guard button. But the main thing here with like creating space is kind of just make it hard on the opponent. If the opponent runs at you or anything, then 7K is really good. To top it off, 7P and 7K almost look like the same move. I mean, Nyotengu makes a slightly different sound, but yeah, this move is just plain dirty. Alright, if you'd like a couple get-in moves with Nyotengu from like mid-range when you do want to kind of get your offense going, then you can use 6K right here. Alright, this is a track and mid-kick that leaves you at plus 18 when it hits on the opponent, and you can follow it with like a 3P launcher for instance. And I just being lazy, just using the air throw right there. So yeah, the thing that makes this move good, if this move gets blocked, you're only -2 on block. So this is a track and mid kick only -2 on block. So it's freaking amazing. The only weakness is that it's kind of slow at 20 frames, but with Nyotengu, I mean like 20 frames is kind of standard. And I know -2 feels like -1,000,000 when you're fighting a 9-frame jabber, but you're still fully safe from punishment. All right, another mid kick that you can, another mid that you can use from like around mid-range or like as a bit of a poke is 3P plus K. See right here, this is your go-to high crushing mid. See right here, it leaves you on like around -5 on block, or -4 if you do it from like a little further out. So you're fully safe when it gets blocked. If you press the P button after it, then you can go into your flight stance, and the flight has a couple follow-ups of its own. You could do a pretty cheeky throw, which is also like 9 PT. And off of this, I mean not off of this, and another alternative is you can also do the K option, which is like a -14 mid. The point of the mid is so people don't always smack you out of the throw attempt. So I mean, but it's pretty similar to like doing the 2K out of Hayate no Mai stance. So, but the neat thing about this move is that if it gets blocked there, you're fully safe. But when it hits, if you do 3P plus KP, then you can follow it with 7K. For the Hayate no Mai stance or the flight stance, off of certain moves such as 8 PP, what you do is press the P plus K right on hit of the move that leads into it. In the case of this, the third P. Press it that, then you end up going into the flight. Then there's like different options like the throw for instance, but it is also really handy for leading into her bound if you do Hayate no Mai PPP. Right here, this is really juicy damage off of a throw. Rig. Rig is an advanced character that is great for players that like to just abuse their opponent with frame traps and mixing. Being a Taekwondo fighter, generally what you want to do with Rig is try and go into his flamingo stance. He calls it bend-in stance. Right here, you can go into it as simply as just pressing the K button. So you do like a single K, 2 Ks, and if you do a third K, then it will just end up with a semi-safe mid-kick track and follow-up right there. But if you just do 1K, 2Ks to go into bend-in stance, you can also use 4K, 4KK, 1K, 1KK. So there's like numerous ways to get into it. PP, KK. I mean, there's lots of ways to end up getting into the bend-in stance right there. There's also 9K, even though, as you can see, that's negative. What you generally want to do is go into bend-in stance in the moves that leave you positive. Like you get +3 if you go into it off of just a simple K. You're +1 if you do 4KK. You're neutral if you do 1KK, even though it's a low high. So basically, K and 4K would generally be the recommended ways. The main thing about 9K, it is it is a jump in move. So this move's mainly for the stun because it gives you a gigantic stun when it hits the opponent. Rick can fight comfortably from mid range or close range, no problem, which is really good for a close range kind of pressure character with a lot of like dangerous frame traps. All right, from mid range, you can poke with 6KK. All right, you see right here, if this move connects on normal hit, it leaves you at -3. On stun, it gives you +22, so it's a pretty decent stun. The main thing about this move is that it's pretty much the best lead-in into the turn like cut stance or Rick's jump in turn in stance. Just press back, so something like 6KK4 will end up putting you into the stance, and there you're +4 in the stance, although you have to do a move out of the stance. If you're just doing this move in general, the follow-up that you're usually going to be using is 2K, so 6KK 2K. See, it's a really good move right here. The main reason I like that move is that it's the same low as 2H plus K. Like, this is just a really abusable, basically a low check for Rig. Like, this move is really good. I mean, his 2P is decent also. I mean, his strike speeds in general is a 10 frame jab, 13 frame 6P, 13 frame 6K, and a 13 frame 2P, which is neutral on hit. So yeah, this move is like really good, and his strike speeds in general are pretty good. But yeah, so basically out of this, you're generally going to be doing 6KK 2K, 6KK P, or 6KK. You can just do the first 2 hits and that's fine. So any of those ones are good, but this low is like really dirty. Talking about dirty, to go along with these strike speeds, Rig has a 12 frame mid. This is 8K. Like, this move is just nasty. It does 18 damage, so it's around the same damage as like 18 frame elbows. But like, this move though, look at this. It's a gigantic lift stun on normal hits. It has a follow-up in 8KK. So it could be a little tricky for the opponent to punish because they do have to respect the follow-up. So anytime you just want to, like, let's say the opponent's at negative and you want to blow them up, you can just use 8K. If it ends up connecting on counter hit, then ends up leading into a launcher. So I mean, yeah, 8K, such a dirty move. Although usually, I mean, launching this move as an interrupt is always good, but also being able to go into a bending stance whenever you want to start your offense is really good also. To go along with 6KK from mid-range, you can also use 6XP right here. It's a 14 frame safe mid-punch. It's got lots of range right here, 2.13 meters, so it's a pretty good range. When it does connect, it ends up as a +5 on normal hit or on counter hits. You end up getting a knockdown. So it's a nice poke, even though it does leave you at negative on block. And I'll say right now that Rick's defense is not really that good. So he basically requires you to have good general defense, because mainly like Rick's crushing game isn't really the greatest. Your go-to high crush is either going to be 2P or 1P. Like, there's 1PP, which is a good low mid string. But in general, like, Rig is kind of like awkward. As for like a low crush, bend-in stance 8K is going to be your common like low crush, because when you go into bend-in stance, opponents are going to be wanting to try and 2P you, so that's when you kind of smack them with that's when you end up smacking them with 8K and ends up bouncing the opponent right there. While we're on the topic of bend-in stance, it's a really good stance, especially if you enter it into it with frame advantage. All right, if you end up going to the bend-in stance with frame advantage, then use KK. Use this as a check on your opponent. It's a 10 frame high kick that if you just do like the 2 kicks, I mean, it would be a natural combo on block. It leaves you at +1. So that means it's a frame trap into a frame trap. This is a check to make sure that the opponent will not be, preferably not pushing buttons in a stance, or they're just going to get smacked by that. Alright, if the opponent doesn't want to get hit by this, then they're going to try and 2P you. When the opponent tries to 2P you, hit him with 8K right here. This will be your go-to, your go-to low crush. So yeah, 8K's really good. If you know the opponent's just to stay there and block, well, there's numerous options. You can basically shake him up with a low like 2K, 2KK, 2H plus K, like so. But if you want to like try to keep up pressure, you have a couple options. Right here, after this, hold down 7K, and right here, you get a really good guard break, leaves you at plus 12. If you're in front of a wall, it actually has enough frame advantage to be able to go for like a jab follow up or something like that. So I mean, it's pretty good. If you don't charge it, you leave yourself at plus 1. The frame advantage is plus 22 either way, but the main point of charging it is to get that frame advantage. But if you want a nice go-to move for shaking up the defensive opponent, like when you know they're frozen, then just keep mixing them up with the bend and stance throw. Bend and stance P is pretty nice also. Along with the launcher throw. Tina. Tina is a great beginner character, a well-rounded grappler character, and is straight up one of the best characters in Dead or Alive 6. Whereas Mila could be viewed as the striker-grappler hybrid, think of Tina as the opposite. Tina could be viewed as a grappler-striker hybrid, so basically the opposite. So what that means is Tina specializes in powerful throws that destroy your health bar, and her striking ability's not too shabby either. And yes, you can set up ground throws after certain wall setups. By virtue of being a grappler, Tina is predominantly a close-range fighter, but also by virtue of being a grappler, Tina's also kind of slow. Like for instance, she has an 11-frame jab, a 13-frame elbow, and a 14-frame 2P. She also has a 15-frame 3K and a 14-frame 4K, which is, I'll just say right now, that's actually an amazing move. But in general, what you're going to be using in close is Tina's jab, 6P, 2P, 1P, and she also has another really, really good move, which is her full crouch 3P. You see right here, this is a 12-frame. It's a 12-frame mid punch. It has a follow-up that allows her a guaranteed ground throw with down throw or 2T. So full crouch 3PP is really good. If the move were to connect on counter hits, you see right here, you get a lift stun. You can still smack the opponent on the ground also. But particularly like at the start of a round, this could be really good. Because it's coming from full crouch, you're generally going to be, well, going under highs. So yeah, you technically have a 12-frame mid punch that can lift stun and counter hit at your disposal. So yeah, it's a really great tool. You also have 2KK, which is also pretty good. You got a third hit. Also, I mean, it could be like a little telegraph, and it's similar to just the last hit of 1K, which also, well, if you can get the last hit every time, you can set up that ground throw. And as you've probably guessed right now with Tina, a pretty good kind of like strategy in the game is to try and just try and set up back throws. All right, while I'm going on right now, I end up mentioning this move right here. This move right here is pretty damn good. It's similar to Lisa's 3K4, so down forward kick back. So for Tina, it's just back 4 or 4K. See right here, it's a 14-frame mid kick that's, well, jumping, so it avoids lows really well. It's got pretty decent range, like 1.64 meters is pretty good for this kind of move. You see right here, it's safe on block. At least Tina back turn, so you can do either just block or you can press back. So I mean, like, it's a really good move. When it does connect on the opponent, right here, it ends up stunning on counter hit. If you were to do that on normal hit, just show, it pushes back kind of far, and your follow-up would be up back, or just basically 7K. I mean, right here. If you do this from if you just do this on normal hit, the 7K will whiff. But if you do it again on counter hit, the 7K will follow up. However, if you end up doing this on block, alright, here, let me just see. If you end up doing this on block, you would only do this if the opponent is basically to try and retaliate with a slow move. But of course, on block, you have to take defensive action because -5 is, well, not advantage. But if you do hit, then you can easily go for this. Back 4P. Back 4PP, which is just like full crouch 3PP, so that's another See, right there's another good move. If you think the opponent's gonna hold or like stand there, then you got 18. So you got here a jump in, offensive hold. You got a stand in throw, 1P. This is a good 15 frame track in low punch, so it's your go-to, well, high crush. Right here, if you think the opponent's gonna step, or if you just want to go under a high, then you use this move. Yes, it's -3 on... It's -3 on normal hit. If you connect it on counter hit, you'll leave yourself at +4. So if you're going under a high or intercepting a high, then yeah, you're gonna be getting counter hit. So 2P is also pretty good. Also, well, 2P is also pretty good. It's neutral on hit. I mean, it's 14 frames, so it's kind of mediocre for a 2P, but 1P is nice. The thing about like 2P or 1P that leaves you crouching is that Tina's most dangerous throw is performed from, well, from a crouch. I'm talking about while rising 6-4T, also known as while standing back forward T. So anytime you leave yourself in a crouching position, just do forward back throw. Then you get this beastly throw, which does 80 damage on normal throw. But let's say if you were to get on high counter, if the opponent was to like hold, for instance, while you're in a crouching position. Look at this bad boy. 136 damage. I mean, you hit the opponent with this like one or twice, and they're gonna definitely think twice about just randomly holding against Tina in stun. So yes, Tina is arguably one of the best characters for punishing an opponent that basically holds too much. And if you want to throw from standing, you have half circle forward T. 132 damage, so right there, I mean, you hit this twice and you've just completely destroyed the opponent's health bar. If you like some pokes with Tina, you can use PPK. You can use 6PP, then 2P. And from 6P, you can also do 6PP, 6K, which has a throw fall. You hit the throw right as the 6K connects, same as, well, 6KT. And you can also do 6PPK. Actually, let me try this again. 6PPK, 4T, then 2T. Yes, I know that was a lot more abusable in earlier patches. Generally, when you're fighting with Tina, you want to fish for stuns. From standing, 3PP is a good option. And if the opponent makes the dumb mistake of holding, destroy their health bar with half circle forward throw. Admittedly, what I'm about to show you is very risky to telegraph against your opponent, but occasionally you can chuck Tina's booty at your opponent with 6-6 PPKK. See, if you can get around max range, you can get like about like +7, so you get a tremendous amount of frame advantage. If you do it from a little closer, you see right there, still +6. Right there, neutral. But if you do it in the opponent's face, you'll leave yourself negative at -2. Another move that you can throw on the opponent's block is 4-6P. Right here, it leaves you at +1. So you get a 10 frame jab, 12 frame elbow, and a 13 frame 2P. But during the neutral game, when you know the opponent's kind of defensive and is not sure what to expect, just sneak in the run and throw. Shining Wizard. And you get a free down throw. Zack. Zack is an advanced character for players that like fast mix-up pressure. Let's just get right down to it. Zack is fast. He's possessing a 10 frame jab, an 11 frame elbow, a 12 frame mid kick, and a 13 frame 2P. Alright, so yeah, that's really good strike speeds. But let's let you know right now, Zack has a 12 frame, well, 6K. Not many characters have a 12 frame knee. I think Hanaka's the only one that has it, and she basically inherited Zack's. Like, I know there are some 12 frame kind of like DP flip kick like moves, but for an actual poke like this, really Zack is like the only one that really that can do this. So this move is like really good. 6K right here. It has a delayable fall up in 6K, 2K right here. You also have a launcher with 6KK, and you also have like a knockback move with 6K, H+K. I'll let you know that all the enders are pretty much unsafe on block, so you have to mix it up well. And even just doing 6K free cancels is fine. You can also access 6K off of the jab string, so PP 6K, and it leads into the same follow-ups. Like so. Zack's strings in general tend to be quite good. As you can guess, his jabs are good. So I already showed you can go into PP 6K. You can also use PPP, PP6P, PP2K, and PP2K goes into one of his rapid fire moves, just like 1KKKKK. Like so. So yeah, Zack has a lot of these moves, like 2KKKKK right here, which can kind of slap the shit out of the opponent. Under most circumstances, you're not going to be finishing the string. You're just going to be stopping it. Although there is a little bit of a mix-up at the end, if I'm not mistaken. That's right. You can end with the 6K as opposed to always ending with the low. So I mean that could be a bit of a mix-up where you end with the low or end with the move like 6H plus K right there. But I will note again that yeah, when you end the strings, you are commonly going to be unsafe. So you can like kind of open up your offense with the jab mix-ups, and you can see right there if you press back, you can go into stance. You can also use the 1KP. See, like with 1KP, you can go into 6P. I mean, there's like 1K PPP, 1KP, 1PK 6K. That move right there, and then you get the 6K follow-up. Right there is just like that rapid fire kick right there is the 6P. Is the 6P kick. So let me try this again. So 6P KK. This is a nice move for just kind of like a little poke. See, it's delayable. You can end in a low. You can end in a mid kick. So 6PK is pretty good to try and fish for like a counter hit stun, for instance. It's right there. You see, it stuns the opponent. Even though it knocks him away, it does leave you at frame advantage. So with that plus 15, you can take an opportunity to kind of dash in if you can like kind of back the opponent in the corner. So essentially, a big thing with Zack is kind of just harassing the opponent with rapid fire strings. Zack is a stance-based character, so he has a couple stances. This is duck in stance. I just entered it with 2P plus K. Not this move. And right here, let's say off of your PP and you press 4, then you go into the sway stance. You can also enter it with 2P plus K, then press 4. So those are Zack's two main stances. So common ways to enter sway would be you can do it off of 2P. You can do it off of 4K, which I'll say right now is also your go-to mid-poke from mid-range. Like, this move is really good. So essentially, you can anytime from mid-range, you can just toss this out and press down. So 4K2. I'll say right now, it's the same as with Honoka because she inherited the move. You go right into there. And then there's like a high punch option. There's 6PP. And if you press back after ducking 6PP, then you go into sway. So you can kind of like chain the stances. So generally also when you end up going in the stance, the big thing of course is trying to like mix up the opponents. See, like 6PP is generally going to be a go-to. If the opponent expects that, then you get right here a reset throw, which can have like multiple follow-ups. See right there, you press the throw button, you just chuck the opponent in front of you. If you press the kick button up to 3 times, then you can get damage. So use the throw for frame advantage, or the kick option for the damage. Zack's sway stance can lead into duck and stance. So if you press down while in sway, then you can go back into it, so you can actually kind of like chain them together. And while in duck and stance, if you press down or down, then you end up going into Zack's duck and sidestep stance. You got a low kick option, or you got a punch option out of it. So yeah, so there's lots of evasion with Zack. As for the sway option, the punch option is really good out of there. Like, it basically like leads into like Zack's jab strings. The P plus K option is good for a mid punch hidden stun. Or if you want to like create space from your opponent, then you can use the K option right there. Zack's 2H plus K is a really good low. See, this is basically going to be your go-to tracking low right here. It's just like 6K 2K. So right here on normal hit leaves you at like +7, +8, so it leaves you at quite a bit of frame advantage. Zack's forward throw is also really good because Zack really likes reset throws. 60 leaves you at +13. You always get a free PP, and you can do like a little mix-up afterwards. Zack's 9 PP is pretty good. It hits high, it hits hard, and you can use it around mid-range, and it leaves Zack back turn and allows him to follow up with 3-3K. Hayate. Hayate is a great, well-rounded character that is good for people that are in the process of learning Dead or Alive 6, but I wouldn't really go as far to call him a beginner character, although he's not particularly complex either. Hayate can fight comfortably at any range, at like long range, mid-range, close range, no problem. Generally what you want to do with Hayate is control space and just make the opponent respect this move right here. This is 6-6P. 6-6P is basically a nice go-to mid-poke from like mid-range or from range in general. It does have numerous follow-ups, such as like 6-6P 2K, 6-6P 6-6P P, and you can charge the second hit in case the opponent blocks and you leave yourself at +3. And if you're certain that you're gonna like intercept something, then you can launch the opponent with, for instance, 6-6PK. And just do like a small juggle or whatever afterwards. Any of those chargeable guard breaks, such as like 6-6PP or 9PP. So right there, the +3 is a guard break, but if you hold forward during the charge, then you can end up teleporting behind the opponent like for some shenanigans or whatever. Same with like 9PP. Right there. So during the charge, just end up pressing the 4 and you end up teleporting. As you see, you leave yourself at major negative if the opponent blocks it. But this can be really useful, for instance, on the opponent's wake up to try and like throw them off, because I mean like 6-6P is such a good move in general. So you even have even more options like that is really nice. Other moves you can use at range is like quarter circle back or 2-1-4P, which has like a pretty delayable follow-up. So right there, you can just free cancel. Or right here, see right there, you can like delay it by a lot, because if you do finish the string, you leave yourself pretty negative, even if you have a low kick option. But generally what the opponent's going to try and do is hold the second hit on reaction, so sometimes you're just going to have to do the first hit. You're at -8, so it's going to be a little tricky for the opponent to punish that every time, especially if you delay the other hit, so you can kind of like get away with that. Another move that you can use is 3H plus K, the infamous 3H plus K, KP. I know this move was nerfed in a somewhat recent patch a little while ago. So the first hit just knocks down, so it's not a stun. The second hit flips the opponent, and the third hit knocks the opponent away. But still though, the main purpose of this move is similar to 2-1-4P. They're both jump-in moves to jump over your opponent's like low attacks, where Hayate's go-to low attack is 2H plus K or 1P 2K. So to jump over those type of moves, you have 2-1-4P or 3H plus K. Because obviously, if all you do is 6-6P, the opponent's gonna start to telegraph it. Even though this move is still, yeah, you could do some other shenanigans with 4 afterwards. But even though this move is just so good in general, I mean with +20 stun on normal hit, it's just such good moves that Hayate can use from mid-range. You can also use quarter circle 2-3-6K, so quarter circle forward K for a +1 guard break. So this is also another good move to use when you're ready to kind of get your offense started. All right, I'll give you a couple helpful tools that you can use in close range with Hayate. He has 8P plus K, 2P plus K, which is his own special command sidestep, which is always nice in Dead or Alive 6 to have your own special meterless sidestep. It only has one option right here. It's just the punch option. It's +4 if it connects, and you're unsafe on block at -9. So if the opponent calls you out on it and just blocks it, they can throw you for that. Of course, you could just simply choose to do nothing, but it is an alternative to a normal sidestep. Another move that you can use in close if you want to high crush along from just doing 1P or 2P, even though I know 1P has a couple follow-ups. You also have your P plus K. So this is your mid-high crush. As you can see, it's unsafe on block at -13, but when it connects, it ends up bounding the opponent, allowing for like a potential combo opportunity. And now to help you out in at range for control in space, since control in space is a big thing with Hayate. For keep out, you have your wind dash right here. This is 1P plus K. So you see, if you do 1 P plus K back, then you exit out of it. But if you just simply do a raw 1 P plus K, you leave yourself at -4 if the move gets blocked. It's a mid punch. If you hold it down, you get a +3. You get a +3 guard break. But the wind dash also, if you press forward, you go into like a wind dash offensive stance. So you get a few options out of that. So that's 1 P plus K 6 or forward. Like, there's a few good options. The punch option there is good. It's a +7 high guard break. The kick option is good right there. It's -5. It's a -5 kind of like flop move, and leaves a Hayate back turn. And if you think the opponent's just going to be standing there, then nail him with the throw option. In close range, Hayate is a 10-frame jab, a 12-frame elbow, and a 14-frame 2P, and a 14-frame mid kick, and a 12-frame 7K DP like move. So generally, in close range with Hayate, you're going to be trying to basically just fish for counter hit stun with 6P. That's what his elbow's good for. Mix-ups is not really Hayate's forte, so let's see. PP 6P, PP 2K, like these ones do have follow-ups. And the follow-up on block is semi-safe at -7. So you can just kind of like fuzzy guard after it, and you should be safe from guaranteed throw punishment. The worst the opponents can do is try and do like a neutral throw, and of course those are always breakable by the throw button. PP2K has a follow-up with PP2KK or PP2KP, so either of those ones. You see right here, unfortunately the follow-ups are unsafe, so sometimes you're just going to do the kick option or just try and do jab jab. The reason why Hayate doesn't have much strike mix-up is because he can do shenanigans like this: jab jab, half circle forward throw. And right there, that's just the first part of the Nakuryu throw, so it's just half circle forward, 414 and 4660. Like, I'll just show you it right now. Like, it does like a lot of damage. See, now it's the second and third from the bottom, not the bottom. See, so it's half circle forward, 440, 466T. Do that throw and you get good damage, and you get the environmental damage also. The one on the bottom is the Raijin throw. I mean, I'm gonna tell you this right now and give you a warning. Do not agonize yourself over this throw. Don't bother focusing on it unless you're a masochist or if you have like godlike execution. It is not worth the amount of agony to your wrists for learning that throw. Just use this Nakuryu throw. Just use this Nakuryu throw. Or you could just go for this. Golden Hayate. Alright guys, that's it for part 5 of the character quick tips guide. So yeah, only a few characters left. So I'm going to give you a little heads up to not leave early on the next character session. And again, I want to thank Smart Esports and Trollcoin for endorsing this video. But yeah, if you have any further questions, feel free to contact me on my YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. So that means leaving a very lovely comment down below. Be sure to check out my full character guides, along with my top tier tips advanced guides, my both advanced and beginner guides, to get a nice little overview at this stunning game that is Dead or Alive 6. And if you'd like to support the channel, and feel free to join Top Tier Fighters to support this help, and I would appreciate it. Anyways, this is Force Nature signing off. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time on Top Tier Tips.